We're back on the farm after harvesting our wheat and a brief vacation. And now we've got the next new challenge, cultivating and planting our next crop. We're starting on a plan that always has something growing in our field, but first, we need some new equipment. Last time, we were halfway through working our grass field and left off needing to wrap our bales for silage. This may be the last time we move these bales one at a time because we've gotten to the point where an auto stacker is desperately needed for the farm. We'll still have to pick them up with the tractor and put them into the Anderson wrapper, but the auto stacker can pick them up from the field and deposit them right next to the wrapper for easy loading. We won't have to drive all over the field. The goats will get a couple bales of rations set aside for them, and I'm not going to put them into their troughs just yet. I still want to test out the meadow grass regeneration, so we'll let them eat through the existing grass we're feeding them, have them graze on the meadow grass, then see if it grows back. Let's finish this task of clearing the grass bales from all 4 fields. Then do a little more work on our arable crop. Alright, the silage bales will be ready to sell in October. That money will get us most of the way to buying an auto stacker. I'm assuming we don't get it from the goat milk or some other product. The Massey Ferguson needs to move off the new field because we've got a little more revenue to squeeze off the arable crop in addition to the wheat. The Crone baler will get put to work again baling up the straw left behind from the wheat. And although the straw isn't worth a ton of money, I think we'll get at least a couple thousand in straw off the field, so it's worth a quick round of baling. It's the first time we've done this, so I'm curious to see how much straw we'll actually get. Okay, that exceeded expectations. 8 full bales unloaded to the side of the field and a partial bale in the machine. And these are hefty bales at 11,000 liters each. At its best price later in the year, straw goes for about $50 a bale. That'll bring in almost $4,500, which is a really nice extra chunk of change, and in combination with the wheat, I think we're looking at around $15,000 from the wheat harvest, before liming and optimizing the field. Now, with this new arable crop field, I don't want to just let it sit fallow during the growing months. And with whatever crop I plant, I'd like to buy as much of the cultivation and planting equipment as possible. So I think we'll take down like 3 trees maybe, and bolster the bank account a little bit more. We can always use money, and I think getting the tree money sooner than later will help us reinvest it back into the farm and move us forward. So let's get these trees loaded onto the log trailer and sold for some extra cash. right, a very nicely stacked trailer, and we're able to do this now with the tape measure mod, which not only makes for a good looking trailer, but it helps keep them at a length that settles them nicely into the side rails. The sawmill's giving us the best price, so let's see what we got. Over $19,000. Beautiful. I know we're bouncing around a little from chore to chore, but what just caught my eye was a great demand notification for long planks over at the Playground Market Hall. I think what we should do is take advantage of the good deal, and even though we've only got a few planks to sell, load up what we've got and do a quick sale of long planks along with whatever short planks we've got. Midsummer is a good time to sell the short planks too, so we'll get our trailer converted back to a flatbed and get those sold. While we're here at the store, let's also bring back a pallet of seed. I haven't decided exactly what to plant in the new field, but I know for sure we'll use this seed sooner or later, so we'll make the most out of the trip. Alright, seed deposited, one of each type of lumber loaded for sale. It's not a ton of wood, but I bet it'll be $7,500 anyway. Okay, a nice little bump to the account. Let's get back to the farm. And what I just noticed here, it's a lone bale we missed when doing our wrapping. I'll grab this on the way and consider it more goat food. I'm still all over the map here in July with activities, but the sawmill lumber sale was just a quick side quest due to the special price. We'll get back to felling more trees and get 3 more of these bad boys loaded up and added to the account. Almost $20,000 for the trees, over $56,000 in the account. Who would have thought we'd ever get to this point of money making on the farm? Things are really starting to happen. On the way back, I decided to explore a little dirt road just to see more of the map. There's so many little interesting places here and there, I want to start poking around more. Giants did do a really good job on Riverbend Springs. It has a good feel to it. That's it for the time being with the log trailer, because now it's time to buy a new piece of equipment. The auto stacker is still high on the list, but the more pressing thing we need is something to cultivate our new field. Now, there's lots of choices here, like buying a separate cultivator and seeder, or buying a seeder that direct drills and doesn't need separate cultivation. But the thing that got my attention is this horse system that is fundamentally a cultivator, but also has an optional seeder attachment. You'll also need this separate front hopper attachment to hold the seed, but what I like about this setup is that I can just use it as a cultivator alone, or as a seeder that cultivates at the same time. I think it's also a shallow cultivator, which I don't believe will kick up any field stones we have to deal with. So for me, this setup is ideal.
Isn't it ideal? Absolutely ideal, didn't we?
Ideal.
We'll fold this up for the ferry and get it back to the farm. As a warning, don't be concerned with what I'm going to plant. We're not going to create another grass field. However, we're going to be planting grass. Now, before you start throwing farm fresh tomatoes at the video, let me explain. I want our arable crop fields to always have something productive growing, if at all possible. And given where we are here in July, there's not much I can plant right now. And it's a couple months before I can plant something like winter wheat or barley. So, grass is going to work more like a cover crop to put back fertility. Plus, we'll get a decent yield of partially matured grass in the process. A win-win. Let's use the cultivator and seeder, get the grass sown, and see where we are. Six-meter working width, 9 miles per hour speed, that'll do us nicely for a good while. Now, to get the first bit of fertilization going, we'll roll the field, but the question is, where to put our new cultivator, seeder, and hopper? There's really no room in the shed without blocking something important, so we'll stack it, for now, out back near the mushroom house. More equipment storage is clearly in our future, but this will do. We can get both pieces stacked pretty neatly and out of the way. Okay, now for the rolling, which I hope will put down that first application of fertilizer, though I'm not entirely sure. I think the grass has to be actually in a growing stage for that to take effect, and not just freshly planted. Let's see. Yeah, not yet ready for rolling, at least not on this new field. But we'll get it there before we plant our next arable crop in September, which is just a couple months. Till then, we'll start rolling our established grass fields and start dreaming of that new auto stacker we'll hopefully buy in the next episode. Subscribe so you don't miss anything, because things are starting to get pretty busy. See you next time.